All right, check this out. This is a typical 35mm film. Memorize this size right now. I picked up a camera that can do a 6x9 negative, so a 6cm by 9cm negative. Holy crap, dude. Those are like insane negative sizes. This is regular 35mm. This is 6x9. So, dude, those bigger negatives are shot on this recent pickup, the Fuji GW690-2. There's 3 versions of it. The reason why I didn't go with the 3rd version is because the way it just looks like an old printer to me. And the rubber ring around it looks kind of whack. So, you know, I picked up this one. It's been really nice. It's kind of like my version of the Mamiya 7 or Mamiya 7 II, like the other like big film heads on YouTube. So yeah, this is like nice to just sling over my shoulder, and I have like medium format capabilities, a nice lightweight package that I could just throw over my shoulder compared to like, you know, the giant metal tanker of the RB. Okay, now that tangent is out of the way. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Guys and girls, I want to thank you for 30,000 subs. We made it to 30,000. It was only 3 months ago when shelter in place happened, and I started to do like videos like twice a week, and we went from like 100 subs to 30,000 subs in 3 months. So like, it's been a crazy explosive growth. I am extremely grateful for each and every one of you like sharing with your friends and like just like talking about like what I'm doing. And this is like a huge thing that's like kind of like coming up, not really that huge. The channel is gonna change a little bit. Yeah, I know that changes are like really like bad for channels. Like, you fell in love with the channel for one reason, and now I'm like switching it up on you, and like you may like now have a reason to unsubscribe, and like that's fine. Like, if you can't like rock with this, then like that's totally fine. Then be on your way. There's tons of other like photo people on this platform that are wonderful, like, you know, YouTubers and all this and all this other stuff. Before we like hop into the Q&A that I like posted up on my Instagram, if you're not following me, like, you can follow me at Who's Chris Chu on the platform. I post pretty often. So the first big item I need to talk about is upload schedule. I used to do like 2 a week, but now I'm gonna have to switch it to 1 a week, or maybe 1 every other week. Reason being is that I actually have client work coming back to me now, and I have some projects that I like recently signed on to, and they're going to be more demanding of my time. So because like YouTube is like, you know, fun, it's a very fun thing. One day I do want to like do it full time, but now's not the right time. So I'm still doing like client work and doing like wedding work. So, you know, I have to like divert some energy and time away from the channel and to concentrate on that, because that's the thing that like pays for a lot of stuff, brings my income all the way up. Yeah, I got to concentrate on that. It's kind of like, you know, it's just, you got to do what you got to do sometimes. So last week I only did once to kind of like, I guess, like warm up to that idea. It was really strange to begin with, really strange. You know, it's going to take it a little bit of an adjustment period. I do have like some videos that are almost done. I'm just waiting on some like film negatives to kind of just like drop here and there. Second big item that I'm going to be talking about is I'm not going to be putting on the sweatshirt all the way on for the rest of the video. Yeah, that's the second big item. And the last one. How'd you grow your channel so fast? Did YouTube algorithms matter all that much to you? I feel like the things that like really helped this channel grow faster was the amount of preparation and research that I did before posting my first serious video, which was the dropout video. I did so much research, like, you know, watching Peter McKinnon, of course, watching like Maddie, watching like other people who like know how to do color grading, just like production level stuff. I like learned a lot from them. I also learned like a lot of like back-end stuff, like SEO and like click-through rates and like whatever like business side stuff from Catherine Manning. I'll link her channel again, like I linked her in my 10,000 video. So all this other stuff that like you know, I invested into the production and all this stuff, I feel like helped this channel grow a lot, because it wasn't like filming on a potato. The algorithm definitely helped when my first self-portrait video came out, because shelter in place just started, I think, for most people. And, you know, self-portraits was like the logical thing to do for, I think, a lot of photographers. So, you know, I just did that, and it just so happens to be what everybody was looking for. So I made a sequel. It didn't do that great. And then I made the third one for the mobile only. And that was like a highly requested video. And then the fourth one, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. So I made it super short. I think in like 2 minutes. I didn't even talk in it. And that is like my best performing video to date. It's like almost at 400,000 views. So like that's viral. That's huge viral. All of my self-portrait videos are like viral. So the algorithm, like, you know, definitely helps. You want to like sometimes like play your cards right in terms of like your SEO and like what you say and like how you title and all the thumbnails that you do. So yeah, I feel like that's what made my channel grow a lot faster. Just a lot of preparation. Pineapple on pizza. If yes, pineapple and lasagna? No, I really don't like pineapples on pizza. It's kind of gross. Pineapples and lasagna sounds even worse though, because like if I'm trying to like scarf that down because I love meat and I like get a juicy pineapple in there, I would gag. What's your advice on networking when you're starting out? So I'm pretty sure you mean in like your photo career or your video career, I guess. I guess it really depends on like where you are in your life. So like if you're a high school student, just shoot like everything like that goes on in your school and people will like notice, and then like, you know, you'll gain some like attention from that, and then that'll carry on into your future. If you're in college, kind of the same thing, but be more concentrated and meticulous in like how you take photos, because I'm pretty sure like when you're in that like age group, you kind of have a better sense of like what you want and what you like compared to like your old high school self. So yeah, keep shooting a lot. When you're an adult, that gets a little harder because you're not surrounded by a lot of people every single day as you were back in your school days. So in networking skills, I would say join Facebook groups. There's a lot of Facebook groups still. I know it sounds kind of like hard to believe, but there's a lot of Facebook groups revolving around like photography. Like I'm like a part of like 2 huge ones in San Francisco, like where like a lot of like models post up like for trade for print TFP work, where like you just do a shoot for each other for free, and like, you know, you help each other out in your respective careers. So like that's a big one, big Facebook type group. Another one would be like just general creative networks. I'm part of one called Asian Creative Network. It's a massive one that's like spans the entire world, and people share their work, like whether it's graphic design, photography, video, whatever. So join Facebook groups. That's a really great thing. Post up your work. I know it's like, you know, it's hard to put yourself out there because I don't know, you could be like insecure, imposter syndrome, all that like Jimmy Jazz. But yeah, Facebook groups are great. And just show people that you really love to do it, that you really love to like take photos. Post it up on your Instagram story. Have a technique that you can use in this video up there. So use that and really show people that you're passionate about it. And I'm sure like people will notice that and hire you. So yeah. Why do you like the color yellow so much? That is a really good question. And there was a guy in my high school who used to wear a lot of yellow, and he rocked it. But when I saw him rock yellow, I'm like, I don't know how anybody could do that. He's doing it, but like I feel like I can't. I think like back in 2017, the color gold was becoming like way more hyped in like clothing and in headwear, in shoes. And I don't know, something about it like seemed really cool. And I like, you know, saw a bunch of like other people like models and stuff where I'm like, maybe I'll give it a shot. So I bought a pair of like gold shoes, like the Anikis, the Adidas Anikis, for all of you like sneakerheads out there. So yeah, like ever since that shoe worked for me, I was like, oh, this gonna work for everything. And it worked out. It worked out a lot. And I love that color. Still not my favorite color though. Blue is still my favorite color, if you couldn't tell. What aspects of photography still make you nervous? For sure, the night before a wedding shoot. Other aspects of photography that I'm like really nervous about is pricing still. I'm still like getting like my handle on like pricing and all this other stuff. Like I'm like much more confident than I was like even 2 years ago or a year ago. So that's like improving, but you know, I still like get nervous when I'm like pricing new clients and like other stuff, and like for projects that like I'm not like too experienced in. So those are like things that I'm still figuring out and like still working on. When's that CWalk tape dropping? Bro, you don't even know. Tomorrow. Does anybody even know what CWalking is anymore? I really hope so. Those videos like back in the old YouTube days were legendary. Legendary. So funny when you find out that one of your friends like nowadays made a CWalking video. It's so freaking hilarious. Do some videography tutorials. This video will not have any videography tutorials. Like you can kind of tell that like I know what I'm doing in terms of video, color grading, audio, all this other stuff. Already talked about it, but I feel like I won't ever do a videography tutorial with like gimbals or like even like Premiere Pro or Final Cut, because I don't know, I don't really want to do those things. And for like video editing stuff, screen capping footage, I don't want to do because I feel like I'm just going to stutter all over the place, and then I'm going to have to reset the whole process, and then like screen capping and all this. Oh, it's just not something that I want to do. So I don't think there's going to be a videography tutorial. There's plenty of people on the platform already that can teach you the stuff that I do now. So it's not any industry secret. So yeah. What do you think is the most underrated part of your channel? I feel like the most underrated parts of my channel are the cinematic videos for sure, like the love letter to the Sunset District and SF. That's definitely underrated, you know, but I expect those videos to be underrated because like it's so far like straying from like my usual content, plus the SEO is like super weak on those things if it's not like a huge travel location like Bali or Japan or all those other places. So I mean, it's the Sunset District of SF. Nobody's gonna be looking that up on YouTube, so those are underrated. But outside of like the cinematic like worlds, I feel like my product photography video is super underrated. I dropped some like heavy knowledge in there for anybody who wants to be a product photographer, or just like general like photography principles in general. I shared a lot in there, and the process of it, oh man, that I took a lot of time making that video, and it was stressful to make that one. But I've definitely like flexed like a lot of like creativity muscles in that, so I definitely recommend checking that out. But you know, do whatever the heck you want. I'm not gonna force you to do anything. So is this channel gonna be more film or digital, because you do both? So this channel is definitely like unique in that way where I do both. A lot of digital heads, like, you know, you can like name 5 at the top of your head like who are huge digital photographers on YouTube. And like for film photographers, you could think of like Willem Verbeek, Corey Wolfenbarger, Joe Greer, Matt Day. Each camp, like they kind of like do just one, and I do both. I'm not saying that I'm the only one that does it, but it kind of like adds that unique value to my channel. And yeah, a lot of people have told me to like niche down to either one of them. Like you should just do digital only or film only. For me personally, I just want to do whatever the heck I want, man. Like I hopped on this YouTube thing so I could be like independent and do whatever the heck I want, create content that I really like. So yeah, it may not help with like rapid growth for the channel if I keep doing both and switching back and forth. I'm definitely investing a lot more into film because it's like super fun. Those videos take a lot more time to make because I have to wait on scans from like the lab to finish up the stuff. They're really fun, but I also love digital work. So I feel like, why do I have to choose? If you don't like it, then you don't like it. But for those of you who stay to watch and like learn from both principles, yo, more power to you, man. More power to me, because I don't want to fall into that trap that like I have to make certain content because that's what audiences like. I want to make what I want to make, and if my audience starts to like it, then that's the right audience that I want to like serve to. So that's it, man. I don't really want to have this division of like film is better or digital is better. In some ways, like both mediums like have their pros and cons for sure, and I want to talk about that for sure. But I mean, come on, like let's just bridge that. This like whole like snooty, snobby like turf war of like film is better, no, digital is better, oh da 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 da, and all this other stuff. Come on, like we're all photographers at the end of the day. Let's not do that. All right, like I don't want to have that on my channel. So yeah, how can a photographer be a blessing through their works? This is a good question. A photographer definitely has like many ways that you can like bless your clients or bless your community. For your clients, go above and beyond what is expected. What is expected from most photographers is know how to pose them, strike up conversation, and have good editing. Ways that you could go beyond that is actually like having conversation before the shoot. Try to address all the stress points that they might already have, like, oh shoot, what should I wear? You should already give them ideas of what to wear, the location that you're going to be shooting at, and some mood board if you want to include that as well. Be fast in your delivery. Be fast. Like, I think you could just say like, oh, you'll get these photos in a week, and then you could just deliver in 2 days. And dude, you could be a blessing to them in that way. For your community, take pictures that matter. Take pictures that will like enrich your community, like for people who are unseen, like the homeless, you know, during this time, the Black community, and all those other things. Like, you could bless your community through many things, and doing free work for organizations that you believe in. Don't do free work if you're going to be forced into doing it. Doing free work for those organizations will sharing your talent in a free way because you love the art and not because of the money. Huge way to be a blessing as a photographer. Does this YouTube thing ever feel like work to you, despite your passion for it? And how do you deal with it? Yeah, so this YouTube thing, I would say like 85% of it is just like pure enjoyment. Super pure enjoyment. The point when it started to feel like work was actually during my second block of videos, which was I think that was in May. I was starting to like, get really tired, because in that like second month of like going like hard in the paint, 2 videos a week, I gained 15,000 subs, which is like amazing for a month. Like 3 straight weeks or 4 straight weeks of like just making some like crazy good videos. That was the one when I did the mobile only self-portraits and the super short video that's like now at nearly 400,000 views. It started to feel like work near the end, because I don't know, I just started to run out of ideas that I could film and like produce quickly, because there were like some more like bigger like stuff that I wanted to do, but I just didn't have the time to do it for a Tuesday, Friday like upload schedule. So that's when I started to like talk about like side projects. I mean, like those videos are like important for sure. I talked about like if you should drop out of college, like those things are like talking points that I knew weren't going to do that well, but I just wanted that advice to fall in the right ears. But my heart wasn't like super fully behind it at that time. I definitely would have made that video eventually, and I'm really glad that I made those videos, but it felt like work for like a good portion of it, because I'm like, oh, I have to upload to keep up with the schedule. So that's when it like starts to feel like work. And the way that I usually handle it, and like to have some preventative measures, that I take a week off. The last week of every single month, I take a week off. No matter how good my channel's doing, no matter how bad my channel's doing, no matter how excited I am or energetic or how tired I am, I take that week off as a preventative measure from burnout, because you hear a lot of YouTubers burning out because like it's a very demanding like work field. Yeah, so that week-long rest, super important. I didn't take a week-long break this last month because the beginning of this block, I actually took 2 weeks off because of the social media blackout for George Floyd. I felt like it was super necessary to do that, and I only dropped like one video to kind of like explain my thoughts as an Asian American. So yeah, that was kind of like 2 weeks of break, so I'm gonna go on just a little bit longer. But one way to combat like that work feeling is to like force myself to take breaks no matter what. It's good. It's good for your mental health. I feel like everybody should do that no matter what line of work they do. It's important. Korean barbecue or hot pot. Both are great ways to just like socialize and eat at the same time. I'm gonna have to go with hot pot though, because like after Korean barbecue, like my stomach feels like crap, my clothes smell like crap, even though the meat was delicious. Hot pot is like that sweet spot, yo. Like the socializing was perfect, even though the steam is up in your face. The meat is so good. I love like the different kinds of broths that you can like be cooking in, like, you know, the mild versus the spicy. It's awesome. It's super nice. I think like everybody gets like what they want at the end of the day for hot pot. Korean barbecue, they probably do too, but you know, I really like hot pot. Any tips for transitioning from auto mode to manual mode? Yeah, so I do have a tip for that. This is actually a tip that like my dad gave me like when I started photography back in 2010, and it's a really simple one, which is like pay attention to like what your camera settings are when you're on auto. Like when you point it up to the bright blue sky, when you point it down to the ground in the shadow or whatever, like kind of pay attention like what the shutter speed is, what the ISO is, and what the aperture is at. Kind of like understand like why that is, and then like kind of go into like partially manual modes where like it's shutter speed priority, where like you have full control over the shutter speed from like 1 whole second to 1/4000th of a second, and then like you can see like the other settings adjust. So kind of like do those things, like pay attention to the auto modes and then the kind of partially like manual modes, and then yeah, you slowly like kind of like take off the training wheels off your bike when you pay attention to those settings. And then when you can shoot in full manual in like any situation, you're a pro, baby. You're a huge pro. I shoot manual all the time. I don't ever do priority, not because it's a flex, but I just like having full control over like my settings and not wondering like, why the heck is my ISO shooting up at 10,000? No, like I know exactly what's happening. So yeah, so there were a ton of questions on this Q&A, and I'm sorry that I couldn't get to your specific question, but I really love the love that you guys have been sharing on this channel and like on my Instagram and like just like any like channel that you can find social media wise. Guys and girls, again, thank you for 30,000 subs in 3 months. That's freaking insane, yo. I am so happy, so happy, so grateful for everything that you guys are doing. Yeah, man, like, you know, I always express my thanks on this channel because, you know, I am like very grateful for it. But yeah, oh, wow, I am at a loss for words. Well, you guys pretty much know the sentiment that I'm trying to express right now. Yeah, so we're going to soon be transitioning to that 1 upload a week schedule. Will I ever do full-time YouTube? For sure. Yeah, I think if I ever hit 100,000 subs, I think that is a question that I'll have to heavily consider, and I'm actually making huge plans for when I hit that goal. A lot of big things will come. But for now, I'm just gonna take my time. You know, this is kind of like the grinding phase now. Everybody has like their spike. Everybody has like these like ups and downs, and I feel like I'm just about to enter this grinding phase, which is what most YouTubers go through anyways, what most creatives just go through in general. So I'm no stranger to the grinding phase. I did that in my whole photography career. So here we go. Familiar territory. I'm very thankful for the spike in popularity and attention, but here we go for the grinding phase. I'm ready for it. Gonna be always concentrating on like making content that I love first. And if you guys love it, bonus points for sure. So as always, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment down below. And I will see you guys in the next video, probably this week. And it's a very, very nice one, I will say. And there's a little surprise in there too for all you film shooters. So until that video, I will see you in that next video. There we go. Peace.